everybody, this is Angela Savage, the daughter of IndyCar driver Swede Savage. It's time to watch stories from motorsports. My buddy, Doug Kenny, loves to share the journey of people in racing, and he is an amazing dude. Drivers, owners, fans, and team members, watch the SFM podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines. Do you want to hear my greatest moment in racing aside from winning a championship in karting years ago?
Sure. I
was in Nashville in 2021 for the very first Music City Grand Prix, and I was talking with a friend of mine in an empty field, talking with her about the history of IndyCar and racing in general, and I got run into by Roger Penske's golf cart.
Wow, that's pretty unexpected. I guess he was getting a little rowdy with the golf cart out in the field. I guess did he lose control and run into you, or what happened?
Oh, I was it was very light. It wasn't enough to injure me or anything. I only got like a tiny bruise out of it. But I was backing myself up just because there were some people around, and I was trying to stay focused on my friend and explaining the history. And then I just found myself on the ground for a split second, and it wasn't too hard, but it was enough to push me forward. And I just remember thinking, what happened? And then I stand up and see that it's Penske, and I get really, really excited, obviously.
Yeah. Did he apologize?
He was good enough to make sure that I was okay, and I asked, and quite frankly, I didn't even bring up the incident, even though he asked me if I was okay. I just asked him, hey man, can I have a picture with you?
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably used to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's used to it. He was a class act, and it was an honor to meet him, and you'll take him any way you can get him as a race fan,
Yep, that's right.
It's just sort of like you don't have any complaints when you're a race fan, because if you get run into by Penske's golf cart, you can kind of accept it.
Yep, Yep, do what you got to do to get those pictures.
Yep, and all those memories,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, what are your hopes for the future?
Well, like I said, we literally just completed the 2024 season, so I'm actually just happy to be home for a while, regroup. We got a lot to get caught up on here at the shop, but pretty much like any other year or transition to a new year, off season, just thinking about the upgrades and changes doing to the cars to try to be faster, try to win more track records. Gets harder and harder each year because everybody else is, especially the series guys are really, having the same train of thought. So just kind of thinking about that and waiting for the schedules to come out for all the series, so that I can put together my schedule. And that's something I have had to do about every single year of my life is, try to run a variety of series, and but you can't really put your schedule together until you see the individual schedules of each series. So then that becomes a juggling act to try and run the big ones of each series that you want, and hopefully timing wise and logistically that it's doable.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have any plans for building your company and making it competitive and all that?
Yeah, I mean, from the company product standpoint, we're always developing new parts. Even during the season, we do some of that. I would say more product development probably happens in the winter. We also we actually do complete car builds, for customers as well. So I've got a couple customer car projects that we'll be focusing on between now and Christmas, and try to complete those, by mid-late winter. So that'd be somewhere the initial focus is. And then, like I said, in the later part of the winter, like, I guess down here, basically winter's over by the 1st of February. So hopefully by around that time, we'll be doing some upgrades to my cars. But it's just trying to balance, all the work with what time we have. And down here in the South, the off season honestly isn't very long. It's it's only like two to 2.5 months. So it's really not a lot of time to do a whole lot if you think about it.
Yeah. You got to be resilient. That's what all racers need to be, is resilient in their efforts.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. For me, it's a balance of, the racing and my business. They're kind of intertwined. So the racing, like, the more I race, the more I promote my product and my business, which is good. But also, the more I race, the more money I spend. So it's just kind of a balance of trying to race as much as I can and keep the balance of spending to money coming in. Keep a good ratio of those two, obviously. Just kind of how it's always been with me. Just the racing and business and customers is kind of all intertwined all together, and it's kind of a unique machine that all works together. The more I race and the better I do, the more business I get. But also by racing more, it takes more time and spend more. So it's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, that's all I have for now, but where can people find you?
As far as finding information about me and the company, AfterDarkSpeed.com is the website where we have all our product that's available for purchase. As far as for news and motorsports updates, your best bet is After Dark Speed, at After Dark Speed on Instagram, and After Dark Speed on Facebook. There we do daily posts of things going on at the shop, and then during the season, what's going on at the track. And there's video. I got quite a few in-car videos of different events, whether I've won or podiumed or set a track record. You can see a lot of videos there and content like that.
Got it. Thank you very much, man. So how can your journey impact race fans?
I guess in a couple of different ways. If you're into, I guess what I'm doing currently, the type of series I'm running is, if you're into more grassroots stuff where that you can kind of relate to what the cars are, and you want to get up close and personal with the teams and drivers, I would definitely recommend coming out to an Optima Ultimate Street Car event, or a Grid Life event, or an SCCA autocross or National Time Trial Tour event, or any of the big standalone autocross events. It's pretty interesting if you're into seeing real production cars that are, modified and sometimes heavily modified, competing. And if you're looking to get into being part of it, being a driver or starting your own little program to compete with, a lot of these series offer good stepping stone classes and opportunities to do it. It's actually probably easier to get into this type of motorsports than like oval track, as far as what you need for equipment and crew help.
Got it. Sounds good, man. I thank you for coming on.
Yep, you're welcome.
No problem. So everybody, I'd like to thank Ryan Mathews for appearing on SFM, and we'll see you next time for the next episode. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag is waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.